Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Hannah. I'm going to talk about the deforestation issues, especially why expansion in the demand for blueberry is responsible for deforestation in southern Georgia, and I'm trying to understand it through the integrative approach. So forests cover more than 30% of world's land, which is like 3,999 million hectares of land. And then forest is one of the main resources globally, and it provides lots of benefits to the people living all around the world. When you look into its benefits, it's like habitats for biodiversity protection, provider of important environmental services, more or less all ecosystem services, from regulating to supporting. And then when we look, it also supports on the sustaining the livelihood and economic opportunity. If we look into the Georgia only, it is second largest industry, and it provides like around $25 billion on the industry and produce or provide job to more than 100,000 people. But though it's a very important resources, annually we are losing around 3.3 million hectares of forest land globally, and between 1990 to 2010, the US also lost. The rate of deforestation in the US was around 0.38 million hectares per year. In Georgia, in 2014 only, we lost around 139,000 hectares of tree cover. So deforestation is happening, but the main drivers behind this deforestation is agriculture. More than 80% of deforestation that happens globally is because of the agriculture. And in Georgia, when we look into deforestation, agriculture is the one, and then as I'm more interested in looking at the effects of blueberries, you can see here, evergreen forest, around 1,400 hectares of evergreen forest have been converted into blueberries within the 4 years, 2010 to 2014. So this deforestation have lots of effects. On habitat, or it decreases in water availability, or it have effects on ecosystem service. And then FAO come up with 8 solutions for that, and one of them is integrated land use planning, and I'm interested on this one. So with that, I have an objective to determine difference in profitability for blueberry and loblolly pine plantation. Here I'm trying to use the economic model to see how people are converting, what is the motive behind their conversion of land use. And then the second one is to prepare site suitability model for blueberry production. With that, this is the study area. This is the southern Georgia, which covers 17 counties, and these are the blueberries existing land over there, and it covers around 97% of blueberry plants in the state Georgia. And Georgia is one of the highest blueberry producers among 38 states in US, and it's also the capital of pulpwood production. So there is both like importance of pine and importance of blueberries over there. To fulfill my objective, I use the economic model where I calculate the net present values and benefit cost ratio values for blueberries, and then I use the spatial analysis tools to come up with a site suitability model for blueberry production. The economic model shows that the net present values or profitability of blueberries is very high. If you look over here, in annualized net present value, it's like $3,300, and then with the loblolly pine, it's only $70 per hectare. And in the benefit cost ratio also, like blueberry produce or blueberry returns are more profit than loblolly pine. And when in the site suitability model, you can see here more or less all the area, or more than 80% of the area, is highly suitable for blueberry production. Very small percent of area is under low suitable or not suitable. This shows that there is like lots of land available for blueberry production, actually highly suitable for blueberry production. And then I layered on the site suitability model of blueberry production, and then existing, when you look into the different crops, existing layers, we found that more than 80% of existing evergreen forest is under highly suitable land for blueberry production. So that means that this shows that there is a high profitability in blueberries, there is a highly suitable area available over there. So this shows that there is a highly possibility of increasing deforestation in near future over here. But we have to come up with some solutions to arrest that deforestation over here. In developing countries, we have other land-based incentives like RED, reducing emission from deforestation and degradation, but we don't have that sort of policy in developed countries. But we can encourage our existing forest landowners with payment of ecosystem service or conservation reserve program or wetland reserve program for them to remain on the existing forest system so that they can get extra benefits from this sort of incentive programs and can convert, or they will not encourage to convert to the highly profitable blueberries or other agricultural expansion. With that, I'd like to thank Andy Stone, Michael, and Mike from Superior Pine Products. Without them, I would not have been able to get the insights about real blueberry markets. And then these people converted 500 acres of land, pine lands, into blueberries. And then Ian and Sam for climate data. And lastly, I'd like to thank my DVD Forest Sustainability Labs member. Thank you.
I just have kind of a specific question. You put a table up that said early on that all the forest percentage that was going to blueberries from forests, but it was higher coming from pasture. So what's going on there, and is that something, so grass and pasture, most of it's coming from grass and pasture. What's going on there, and why then are we really concerned?
So some of the pixels, when you look into, this is the crop escape data, and some of the pixels that blueberries can when we are capturing the blueberries, it captures as a grass and pasture. And at the same time, the people who converted grass and pasture to blueberries have not a complete permanent conversion. They are more moving into a different land use system. So like in a shortcut way, the crop escape data shows more or less like the land over there, the grass and pasture looks same like a blueberries layer. And second thing is that Georgia have a high grass and pasture land over there too. So that's the reason where there's a conversion. And then the second thing is that they convert blueberries to grass, and then which is the initial stage. So it captures as a grass or pasture too.
So it's mostly an error in the remote sensing?
Yes, in the crop escape data. That's what they have told over there.
Time for one more question?
I'm curious if most of the conversion from forest is happening from like secondary or pine plantations, as opposed to maybe older mixed forests, and if there are differences between kind of ecosystem health changes, however you would measure that between those two, or if you've measured for that.
I'm trying to look into 3 ecosystem services, especially biodiversity conservation, looking at the gopher tortoise, especially focus species over there, and then water resource availability, and then carbon sequestration. So when more or less these all 3 ecosystem services are equally or more or less similarly impacted by the forest degradation. So regardless of whether it is mature forest or loblolly pine or other, it will not hamper so much. So that's my understanding.
Thank you, everyone. And
thank you.
That was our